Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Nitzavim-Vayelech from Revi to Chamishi. In this week's Parsha, in Revi and Nitzavim, so we have discussing a type of Teshuvah. If you'll be dispersed to the ends of heaven, from there Hashem your God will gather you. So the Tveres Yonasan, Rabbi Yonasan Evshitz, says that when someone does a mitzvah, that brings them close to heaven. When someone does Avera, that pushes them away from heaven. And the more Avera, the further away, until, as it were, that someone could be B'ksei Shemaim at the edges of heaven. And even so, Misham yikabetcha Hashem elechecha. From there Hashem will gather you. And in a similar vein, in the Sefer Aleinu L'Shabeach, by Reb Zilberstein, he tells this amazing story that's hard to believe, but given the source, I'm going to accept it as truth. So on the same sukkim of in Yenidacha B'ksei Shemayim Misham yikabetcha Hashem Elokecha Misham yikachecha. There's a story about a bacher named Meshulam, and he was from a prominent family, maybe not so prominent. He was from New York and moved to Israel, and he learned, he was from, and then his mother passed away. And he decided soon after that he was going to take a trip to India, and he told his father, I'm going to India. And his father says, what's a from boy doing in India? He goes, no, it's already decided. He didn't tell him that he already had a ticket, and he went. And the father says, this is how you pay me, and you pay your mother for the efforts we did to give you Torah education? So I'm never going to forgive you. And with that, the son left, and that's the last thing he heard. And he went away for several years, and afterwards he bumped into a friend from New York. And the friend told him, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your father. And the son said, well, what are you talking about? He goes, well, soon after 6 months after you left, your father passed away. They said it was from from a broken heart because the way you left. So the son felt really bad, and he started crying, and eventually said, all right, I'm going to go to Israel. I have to go to Israel. I have to go to the Kotel. And he went to the Kotel, and he prayed at the Kotel, and as he cried with such tears that, look what I did, I killed my father, I rebelled against you, I made a big mistake, and my foolishness, my Yetzer Hara overcame me. So someone saw him and told him, why don't you put a kvittel, a note into the wall? And he said, okay, he did that, and he wrote down, Hashem, or to my father, please give me a sign that you mokel me, I regret what I sinned towards you, and please give me a sign. So he tried to put it into the wall, but it didn't work. It kept falling out. So he tried to put it into a different level of the kotel. In that spot, he put it out. He put it in the note, and then something else came out. And he looked at the note and was about to put it back in, and said it on and had written Meshulam. He's like, Meshulam? Wow, it even looks like my father's handwriting. And it was yellowed and tattered. And he opened it up, and then it said, Ribono Shalom, have pity on Meshulam ben Rivka, my young son who traveled to India 2 months ago. Watch over him so that he remains a faithful Jew and forgive him for all his sins. If I could, I would tell him, my Meshulam, I love you and I forgive you for everything you did to me. It is true that when we parted, I was very angry with you, and I said I would never forgive you. But you should know, my dear son, that I have changed my mind and I do forgive you. I hope and pray to our Father in heaven that he shall forgive you as well and draw you back to him in complete Teshuvah. I hope that when the day comes, you will marry a God-fearing Jewish girl, and you will merit to raise holy, pure children in a life of Torah and mitzvahs. Your father, who loves you dearly, Yaakov ben Sarah. Now the floodgates of the tears surely came out. And when he finally left, he was with the Kotel. A few hours later, he had already committed Bal Teshuvah. Baruch Hashem, today is, at the time of the publication, he had 4 beautiful children who were following in the way of Hashem. So now we can skip over. So there we see that even from a distance, someone goes to the far end, abandons Torah, Hashem can bring them back. So in Parshas Nitzavim, also in Revi, so it says, by Hakel Saman Hashem Mataf, Beger Hashem Yisracha. You shall gather your nation, the men and the women, the children, and your converts that are in your gate. Now, what are we talking about here? If it's a convert that's a ger toshav, he's still a guy, he's not obligated to come for Hakel. And if he's a ger tzedek, he's a full Jew, he should be coming to he's obligated to come to Hakel. So what are we talking about? So the Hart Tzvi says that we're talking by Ger Tzedek. But this is Ger Tzedek. There's a rule that if someone doesn't have own their own property, then they don't go for the Shlosh Regalim to do the Re'iyah in Yerushalayim. And since, because they don't have this land, they're pater also from Hakel. So therefore the pasuk tells us, no, this ger who doesn't have his own land that he owns, he is not pater from Hakel. Therefore it says, Nemar gercha asher b'sharecha, the ger that is renting from you, that would not be obligated to go visit for Sukkot or any of the Shlosh Regalim. Afal b'kein, even so, for Hakel he still is obligated to come. And finally, a concluding thought on back to Perak Lamed Pasuk Vav and Revi, U'mal Hashem Elokecha es levavcha v'es levav zaracha. So the Chidah brings the famous quote that this is es levavcha v'es levav is the same letters, beginning letters of Elul, to teach us the awakening that we have to do Teshuvah in Elul. But he also notes that the last letters of that, es levavcha v'es levav, is Taf Kuf Samach Beis Tikasev, to tell us that we should be zocha when we do Teshuvah to be written a kasiva v'chasima tova. And I wish you all a kasiva v'chasima tova and a good jar. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year.